The movie starts with a gentle glow illuminating people standing together in a circle as if they were asleep. Then, a young woman stirred awake, her voice filled with worry as she found herself surrounded by silence. Every attempt she made to step forward or backward triggered a buzzing sound, and even reaching out to the person beside her was met with the same eerie buzz. A mysterious circle on her hand seemed to hold some significance. From across the room, a man urged her to stay still, cautioning that some unseen watchers were observing them. Confusion reigned as another woman woke up, only to meet a tragic end when she moved. Suddenly, the lights flickered on, jolting everyone awake, yet one unfortunate soul didn't survive the shock. Amidst the chaos, a voice urged everyone to freeze, while a police officer searched for his misplaced weapon. An ominous beeping signaled danger, and soon, another life was claimed, dragged away by an unknown force. Fear gripped the group as the threat of electrical charges loomed, claiming yet another victim before any explanation could be given. Amidst the panic, a realization dawned upon a man wearing a hat. They held control over the floor lights. Collaboratively, they discovered their ability to manipulate the lights, each person only seeing the glow they directed. The man in the hat revealed a chilling truth. They held the power to determine who lived and who perished. As the ominous beeping resumed, another tragedy unfolded, highlighting the grim reality of their newfound responsibility. The beeping sound came again, making the pregnant lady look around, trying to understand what was going on. Then, zap. She figured it out, they were voting. They were deciding who would live and who would die by closing their hands. Someone had an idea, let's all vote for the person who's already dead. They all agreed, but when the beeping stopped, someone still got zapped. Next time, they tried not voting at all. But even then, someone got zapped when all the lights came on. A guy in a blue hoodie told everyone to hush and think of a plan. He suggested starting with the older folks first. Some people didn't like the idea, but they couldn't come up with anything better. So, they went along with it, voting one by one in a circle. It was sad to see the older ones go, but they hoped it would stop whatever was happening to them. They asked the soldier for help, thinking he might know what was going on, like maybe it was an alien thing. But he was just as confused as the rest. Then, a man remembered something about being stuck in traffic, and then everything went dark. Others nodded, saying they remembered the same thing. The beeping started again, and they voted once more, this time choosing another older person. The guy remembered being taken away in a spaceship. He also recalled a room with lots of people, thinking now they might have been drugged, not dead. They all agreed to vote for the third old person while carrying on their conversation. The fourth old person chimed in with a memory, perhaps about aliens, how they talked and what they looked like. Some doubted his words, thinking he was making it up to save himself. Sadly, he got zapped. The hat guy asked who would be next in line to get zapped. They pointed at the hat lady, questioning her age. When she revealed she was only 52, opinions shifted. She shared her battle with cancer, having overcome it. Blue Hoodie insisted she should be next because she was over 50, but not everyone agreed, concerned about where the age limit would end up eventually. Despite his efforts to persuade them, they turned against him. The cancer survivor suggested they should start figuring out why they ended up in this circle. Some thought it was just a random chance. She suggested they get to know each other better. Beth volunteered to go first, sharing bits about herself. But as she spoke, the beeping started again, and she got zapped. After that, most folks became wary, deciding not to share their names or much else. Craig, however, went ahead, revealing that the woman next to him was his wife. When asked who else knew each other, a man from the back admitted knowing the doctor, but they kept their connection quiet. Craig pleaded for his wife's safety, but another zap interrupted. Next, they turned to the Hispanic man, who didn't speak English. Thankfully, the woman behind him offered to translate. They learned about his family back in Mexico. The conversation took a turn when someone brought up illegal immigration, sparking a debate. The man in the flannel shirt joked about needing a green card for alien abductions. The beeping continued, surprising everyone when it zapped a young girl. The cop recognized one of the men in the front row, Raul, recalling his violent history with his girlfriend. The cancer lady questioned the accusation against Raul. The conversation with the cop shifted from Raul's actions to broader issues of profiling and prejudice. In the next round, Raul was zapped. Afterward, the blonde from the front row speculated that they might need to distinguish between good and bad people. She believed there must be a purpose to their situation, but her neighbor disagreed, suggesting their purpose was to eliminate each other while being observed by aliens. However, the man behind her interpreted her question differently, suggesting they figure out who deserves to live. They pondered what criteria to use as the beeping continued, striking the Muslim woman next. The African American man raised the issue of race, sparking a tense discussion. The cop, revealing his prejudices, spoke next before succumbing to the beeper. The soldier advocated against discussing opinions and prejudices, but the African American man argued for transparency. The soldier and the translator urged unity, suggesting they focus on understanding their predicament. They attempted voting for the person next to them, but mistakes were made, resulting in someone still getting zapped. Trying once more, the pregnant woman assisted the child beside her. Yet, both the pregnant woman and a man were chosen, prompting another round of voting. Sadly, the man was zapped. A voice from the back accused the chosen man of favoritism toward the pregnant girl, predicting that the game would ultimately come down to her or the child. In response, the blonde man from the second row suggested eliminating them to improve everyone's chances. The man in the flannel shirt proposed allowing one of them to leave, but the red tie man disagreed. The cancer lady argued that the pregnant woman should count as 2 votes. Voting ensued, resulting in a tie between an older woman and the child. They decided to vote for the lady. Some, like the guy from the back and the soldier, advocated for protecting the 2 vulnerable individuals, while the man with glasses wanted to know more about them first. He questioned the child, leading to another tie between the pregnant woman and the child. A voice from behind suggested eliminating both, but met the same fate instead. Craig proposed asking for volunteers. After much debate, a teenager stepped forward, stating he didn't want to kill anyone. The man in the flannel shirt protested, arguing that it wasn't fair to let the teenager volunteer. An older gentleman from the back stepped forward instead, bravely leaving his circle when the beeping commenced. The individual wearing the red tie and glasses insisted on asking for volunteers but refused to volunteer themselves. The flannel guy suggested that everyone except the pregnant girl should step forward. The man with glasses questioned the teenager again, who still chose to step out, meeting a tragic end. All eyes turned to the soldier, expecting him to volunteer, but he declined, expressing his desire to reunite with his family and meet his child. As time ticked away, they waited for a volunteer. A grieving woman from the back stepped forward, motivated by the loss of her son. The deacon offered her solace, promising a reunion with her child. She bid farewell and left her circle, drawing the ire of the man in the black suit when they discovered he was a deacon. The discussion turned to religion, with the man in the black suit declaring the zapper as their only god, inciting anger and causing tension. When the beeping started again, he antagonized the group further, targeting the blonde woman beside him with offensive remarks. In the next round of voting, he met his demise, leaving the blonde woman in tears. The man with glasses suggested considering if any of them had children. Craig revealed that he and his wife had a daughter. The man with glasses proposed that those without children should offer themselves up. Red tie man questioned a woman about her family, but she deflected the question back at him. Meanwhile, another unfortunate soul was zapped. When the woman shared her life story, they learned she was gay. Red tie man's homophobic remarks offended the group, leading to his demise in the next vote. The blonde individual raised a crucial question about the endgame, suggesting that one of the final 2 should abstain from voting, effectively sacrificing themselves. The person in flannel volunteered, while the woman with cancer hinted at choosing someone trustworthy to make the decision. However, the translator voiced distrust, leading to a suggestion for collective decision-making. Concern arose about what to do if it came down to 2 people. The doctor proposed they decide for them, leading to a tied vote and the tragic demise of both contenders. The blonde individual insisted they choose between the final 2, but the soldier suspected manipulation to eliminate the pregnant girl and the child. Craig questioned whom they would pick between them, prompting the person with glasses to ask the pregnant girl about her job. Others objected, but the individual with glasses argued it was essential to determine societal contributions. The translator emphasized the significance of the pregnant girl's condition. The person with glasses directed hostility toward her, resulting in the death of the individual wearing a hat during the next vote. The person in flannel inquired about the person with glasses' occupation, to which they proudly declared themselves a banker, asserting their societal value. Despite the provocations from the person with glasses, the translator met her end. The majority deemed the Hispanic man as the next target, but a voice from the back speculated that the translator was killed for her allegiance to the pregnant girl and the child. With the notion of sides introduced, Tensions escalated as they began counting supporters. During the vote, the child and the Hispanic man tied. Realizing the danger, the Hispanic man sacrificed himself for the pregnant girl. The person with glasses antagonized the soldier, who aligned with those aiming to eliminate the two girls. They rallied more supporters, including the couple and the African American man. In the ensuing vote, the child tied with the person with glasses. Some advocated for both to die, but only the person with glasses perished when the wife seemingly changed her vote. Suspicions arose, but she claimed she abstained rather than altered her vote. The person in the flannel suggested they face their fate with dignity, leading Craig to fear for the child's safety. The blonde individual attempted to sway the blonde woman to his side, but failing that, proposed voting for the person in flannel to extend their time for discussion. Amidst uncertainty, they chose the flannel guy. Seeking clarity, the soldier proposed voting for the wife to assess her husband's loyalty. In a sudden twist, Craig changed his vote, leading to the African American man's unfortunate fate. Tensions flared as the blonde guy accused Craig and his wife of dishonesty, stirring doubts among the group. They questioned them intensely, and when the wife faltered, Craig confessed, yet faced the same fate. The wife defended herself, asserting her truthfulness about her child. Despite reminders of their shared guilt, the blonde guy extended an offer of protection to the wife if she joined his side. The voting resulted in a deadlock among five, ultimately leaving only the blonde guy after the revote. Amidst tears, the deacon apologized to the pregnant girl and withdrew from the conflict. The guy in the back and the blonde guy realized they needed to change their approach. The blonde guy proposed trading one of the girls for the fake wife. When the voting began, all but the older man cast their ballots. Sadly, the wife perished. The man in the back pointed out the older man's consistent abstention, raising suspicion. Tensions rose as the guy in the back and the blonde guy debated the older man's role, with the former hinting at collective condemnation. However, the pregnant girl and he had already agreed on their vote. Tragically, the blonde guy fell victim to the zapper, leaving only 4 survivors. Forced by circumstance, they unanimously voted for the older man, leading to his demise. Left with the 2 girls, they contemplated the purpose behind their plight. The guy suggested that perhaps the aliens were studying human behavior and values. The pregnant girl questioned the method, to which he explained that by influencing life and death decisions, the aliens could observe human judgment and thought processes. Unable to bear the weight of the decision, the kid tearfully volunteered, sacrificing herself for the pregnant woman and her baby. Promising they would depart together, he betrayed her trust by voting for the pregnant woman at the last moment. Both girls collapsed, but to his shock, nothing changed, he remained trapped. Another vote commenced, and he, consumed by anger and resignation, refused to participate, convinced that the aliens would end his life regardless. When the beeping ceased, he found himself tied to the baby, forcing him to make an unthinkable choice. In a moment of self-preservation, he chose the baby's demise. Upon awakening outside, he witnessed multiple spaceships looming above. Realization dawned upon him. He had manipulated everyone in the room to secure his survival. He had played the game to its bitter end, knowing his ultimate decision. He saved himself.